So what's an example of the effect of a price floor? The best example is going to be to use minimum wage. Minimum wage is a good example of the effects of a binding price floor. Of course, for the minimum wage to be binding, it must be greater than the equilibrium wage. Where might the equilibrium wage be so low that it is less than $7.25? Well, the two groups are more likely, evidence indicates that two groups are more likely to be clustered in low-wage jobs, young people and black people. The data on unemployment show that young people are more concentrated in low-wage jobs than the general population. The median income in 2011 for all workers was $50,000. However, for people aged 15 to 24, the median was only $30,000 and change. This indicates that this difference suggests that the minimum wage is greater than the equilibrium wage more frequently for young people than for the general population. The minimum wage is also likely to be binding more for black people than for white people. The data on employment shows that black people are more concentrated in low-wage jobs than white people. We've already seen that the median for all workers is 50,000. The median for black workers is only 32,000 and change. This difference suggests that the minimum wage is greater than the equilibrium wage more frequently for black people than for white people. Now, if the suggestion that the minimum wage is greater than the equilibrium wage more frequently for young people and black people than it is for the general population is correct, supply and demand analysis predicts that the quantity demanded is less than the quantity supplied for many young people and for black people. One signal that the quantity demanded is less than the quantity supplied for labor is a high rate of unemployment. So our supply and demand analysis says that since these folks tend to be clustered in low-wage jobs, if the minimum wage is above the equilibrium wage, we'd expect to see high rates of unemployment among these two groups. Well, what happened if we put the two groups together? Workers who are both 15 and 24 and black is only $20,000. This suggests that these folks are especially concentrated in low-wage groups, and we'd expect to see their unemployment rate be really high. What's the data say? The data is consistent with our analysis. The unemployment rate for the entire U.S. population is 7.4%. For young people, it's higher, 22.9%, which again is consistent with a minimum wage being above the equilibrium wage, more frequently. For black people, it's 13.1%. Again, consistent with the hypothesis that the minimum wage is higher than the equilibrium wage more frequently. And for people who happen to be both black and young, the unemployment rate is horrible, 38.8%. These are the folks that we would expect to be most clustered in low-wage jobs. And they're also the people that are they would be the ones who would be most affected by minimum wage directly, and their unemployment rates are really, really high.